call this meeting of the ad hoc Coherent Governance Policy Manual Committee to order. If you could stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
I second.
Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Rachel?
Aye.
There is no public here, so there's no public comments. Approval of the February 7th ad hoc committee minutes.
I move to approve the February 7th ad hoc committee minutes.
A second.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll abstain because I wasn't here.
And 3-0-1. Okay, now we'll get down to our work. Continued work on the policy revision based on work session results. I think we agreed at the last meeting that the first thing we would do would be to go through the old policies and make sure nothing was missing in the transfer over into those quadrants, because we finished the quadrants. So that should be our first task today.
So you have your table of contents to vote on all the
We
policies.
have the old policy. And we have the quadrant. Is there something?
Those are the projects on the board, so that's what you've been working from.
Right, so we just need to make sure that everything in this manual is in one of these quadrants, because we've done everything in the quadrants.
Except for the handbook and deletes.
Right. Okay, so I guess we start with, well, the introduction, you've already got that covered. So we know that's covered.
Yeah.
2-1. I think is on this quadrant.
So 2.1 is in pieces on the quadrant.
Yeah.
So you have some under OE, you have some under the handbook.
Mhm.
So I was trying to figure out how you wanted to cover to make sure.
Yeah. All
I
right, we'll
went
just,
through them all, I just put check marks if they're in one of those 6 areas.
Okay.
Right?
any
1,
miss-
2, 3,
any-
4,
yeah,
5, 6.
exactly. Any missing check mark?
Well, 2.1, 2.1,
That's the
Roman
one I
numeral
had,
1.
2-1-1.
And I had that was crossed off.
And it might have been, I just wanted to make sure, and I think that's the purpose of this, right,
Yeah.
David? To make sure
Mhm.
that it was,
Everything, yeah, that we
Right.
didn't miss anything.
right, so
That
that
should go under the
Yeah, I
delete.
think that one crossed off too.
Yeah.
So that should go under the delete
Delete.
column.
it should have, right? So that's 2.1, Roman numeral 1.
Yeah.
So
Okay?
it goes under the deletes. And the remainder of 2-1 has been taken care of.
Well, what about 2.1, Roman numeral 2? Was that deleted? Just the 2 by itself,
Oh, the 2 by itself?
not A.
Oh, just that top line?
Right.
The stuff.
2.1, Roman numeral
Right.
2. What did we do with that one? Did we use the word lawfully, and we thought that would cover everything?
Mhm.
So was that a delete?
Yes.
Should that go under should that go under the delete then, just so we have everything in a place?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the point, to have everything in a place.
So we're not gonna use any of the words at all, we're deleting the whole thing, we're not moving
Law
it to.
requires, blah, 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 just that sentence.
Right, and that goes where?
That's gonna be a delete,
Okay.
because we've got A covered, well,
That-
2-1A, we've got 4, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
So,
14 covered, but not. What did we decide with 1, 2, and 3? I know we talked about it.
2.1. we crossed out 1, and 2 and 3 were OEs. That's what I had. What did you have?
I was just looking to see whether it's in one of these quadrants, and I saw that 2.1,
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, they're all done under the OE thing. OE quadrant.
Yes, right.
And 6 and 8, 7, 9, 2. Okay, so that one's taken care of.
Did you guys find 2.125? 2.1, Roman numeral 2, number 5.
Result of an OE. I had it crossed off. The one that says exercise stewardship?
Yes.
Number 2.
I had it crossed off with the words written next to it, result of an OE.
But,
Right, but if we gotta put it in one of these,
right.
so
and
we'd
okay.
have to put it in the delete.
Yeah, so, but did anybody, no one else found it in a quadrant maybe, and I just skipped over it by chance?
Yeah,
2.1, Roman numeral 2, number 5.
that's,
2.1.
we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7,
Number
we
5.
don't have number 5.
So
Yeah.
exercise stewardship, so
So do you have any more of those?
Of this?
Yeah, or that was
Here.
your last time?
I can give you
Yeah, it's
one.
kind of the one I've been using all along.
You got one, okay. I was on one. Okay, thank you.
there should be one in.
Oh,
It's, yeah, it's with this. Oh,
okay.
it's with that.
And Kathy, you said that our small group had decided that was, I didn't bring that one in with me, the
Yeah.
one that has our small group comments. So you said that's what we decided was gonna be deleted? Because that was,
Yeah, because, it's the result of an OE, exercise stewardship by monitoring the use of resources to ensure that operating and capital funds are spent wisely. And under an OE in finance, there's monitoring of funds, but
Right.
so we were deleting it.
that's what I had.
So we
Yeah.
we should put it down 2.125 under delete.
Yeah.
Okay,
David, you okay with that?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
okay.
I think it's 2.1
Roman numeral.
Roman numeral 2.
A5,
Yeah,
right?
Roman
Yes.
numeral 2,
A5.
A5.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
two.
okay, yeah.
And the other one was
2B.
2.12 was also deleted, right?
2.1 Roman numeral 2.
2, yeah. Okay.
I had a question about 2.1, Roman numeral 3. Did we delete all of this, or where did all of that go?
I have it all in handbook, but
Okay, I see it's under the
It's in the
handbook.
handbook.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Okay, how about B? Did we take care of B? 2.1, Roman numeral 2B, executive function, hire superintendent.
That's up underneath government's culture.
That was added to the
Oh, there it is,
GC.
B, rewrite.
Right,
Okay.
and we put it
Okay.
to, I put it under GC 3-5.
Yep, I just wanna make sure it's in the flyer somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, so we're,
What about, did anybody find 2.1, Roman numeral 5 and Roman numeral 6?
Roman numeral, oh, that's 4, that's 7.
Yeah. I didn't find 5 and 6 anywhere. But my eyes were going cross-eyed after a while, so I mean, like, you know.
yep,
Is that,
Rachel, 2.1, Roman numeral 5 and Roman numeral 6.
I have them all
is
in
that the
the
one about
handbook.
1 year?
Yes.
Yes,
Um,
And I didn't find them on our quadrants in any 6 of the sessions, so I just thought we need to put them somewhere.
I had 5 in the handbook and I had 6 crossed off.
I would,
yeah, I think
Yeah, it seems
five's
to me
a
they
little,
belong in the handbook, but, I don't have any notes here about
yeah.
where we said it was supposed to go.
I think Roman number 5 would be a good one to put in the handbook.
It's a law.
Yeah.
State
a law.
law.
So good to know, right?
And number 6 seems like, I don't know, isn't that the law too?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think both of them.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, so
Handbook,
we thought the handbook were things that were good to know,
Yeah.
right.
you know, so at least 5, I think, should be
Yeah.
handbook on about
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
6.
throw 6 in
We
there
put it
too,
in there.
Okay,
because they're both laws.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the other thing we decided to put in the handbook is the state laws.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
Handy reference, I've got
Yeah.
mine, I've got them on my cell phone, but I think everybody should. I do. That says something.
Yeah, it does.
You got Robert's rules in there too?
Yeah.
Robert's rules is a big deal, especially Mr. Rajan's interpretation of it is not the same as mine.
Yeah.
So we are finished with
2.1.
policy 2.1.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at 2.2.
2.2.
Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, and 3B, we've got in the quadrant already.
What about,
And 3, oops. Yeah, we got 2.2, Roman numeral 3. Holy cow. M, G, and O taken in the quadrant.
I had A crossed out.
Yeah, A,
Delete. Is that
H,
under
I,
the
J,
delete?
L is
I
under
have-
deletes.
A under delete.
Okay. Yeah, A.
With the B is in there. I didn't see anything for C though.
I had B and C under BSR-3,
2.23B.
where it says the board will observe a clear
Mhm.
distinction.
Yeah, I know we dealt with it because it's in the quadrant. 3B is in that quadrant,
Okay.
the GC quadrant.
And C,
Yeah, I was looking at C though. Where's C?
I don't see C. CC, I don't see C.
That would go into the board superintendent relations, wouldn't it?
I had it up under,
Right.
number 3, under the board superintendent's relationship for number 3. Is that?
Yeah, it should be under board CEO relationship in this quadrant. We got
Okay.
D and F there. but
Yeah,
C-
exactly.
So add C.
Add
C
C.
should be up
Got it.
on
Okay.
the quadrant.
All right.
And A, we had delete.
A was deleted.
Yeah, A, H, I, J, L.
Yeah,
all
there it is.
deletes, right.
Yeah.
So that takes care of A, B, C, D, F,
M,
yeah, H, I, J, and L
L, or delete.
are deletes.
And M I have under the board CEO relationship.
Executive session meetings will be limited to?
Allowed by state
Oh,
law.
yeah, I don't know why that would be there, that's not there. Oh, lawful statement.
The board will govern lawfully and fulfill its commitments?
Yeah, I had M, I had those 3 statements right there with the thing that pulled them together and said lawful statement, so.
What, M, crossed out G and O?
Yeah.
Same, yeah, and those are all under the handbook, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Right.
M, yep.
MG,
M and
G is
G,
out
O.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
MG and O,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And I think governing lawfully is also already in the GC somewhere.
The board will govern lawfully and fulfill its commitments?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somewhere in here it says we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we were going to add it to the very beginning of the governance. Right, like GC2, you know, the board will govern lawfully.
Yeah, so it's covered in GC2. It's in the handbook and it's already covered by GC2.
Yeah.
So
So we,
M, G, N, and O, we're not taking those words because they're already covered with, GC two.
mhm.
So we're gonna take them out of the handbook?
So,
They're in the handbook right now.
right.
Oh, and, yeah, they really should, I think, they could be in the handbook, but they're also covered by GC two.
So the
Yeah.
question is, okay.
Because we really hadn't dealt with the handbook and the delete items yet.
Right.
Because you might
Okay.
have some things in handbook that you'll end up deleting out
Okay.
anyway.
Right.
So those were covered though, so.
Okay.
So they're on.
So they're on this list somewhere.
Right. So I think all of 2.2 now is covered somewhere, right?
Yeah. 2.24, we have that in the handbook. Do you think that's the right place for that one? Because that's a legal one.
We haven't covered that, we haven't covered the handbook stuff
Right.
yet.
Okay.
As long as
It's all
we-
over there,
as long as
got
we
it,
got
got it. Okay, sorry,
That's all
sorry,
right.
sorry. Slap me.
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, we're all the way to 2.3.
Three.
Okay. 2.3, Roman numeral 1.
Is in the handbook.
It's in the handbook. Roman numeral 2, 3 is in the GC.
4,
2, 3,
5.
4, and 5 are all in the GC
Yeah.
quadrant. 6, 7, and 8.
I thought that they were all there. The only thing that's not there, I thought, was that opening paragraph.
Yeah, 6, 7, and 8 are in the ODs.
Right.
The opening paragraph I had crossed out.
Okay.
So the opening paragraph where you put in delete.
I think we need to put it somewhere just to,
Oh,
again.
yeah, well, that's the thing.
I would add that to the handbook, maybe. I don't know. Well, I guess,
Yeah, put it in the handbook.
and then we can
And then we'll
decide.
go over it
The
anyway.
opening paragraph, yeah, because we're
Yeah.
gonna go over that later anyhow. We just wanna make
Yeah.
sure it's somewhere.
Opening paragraph.
So, right,
Excuse me.
bless you. 2.4. I know we have one taken care of.
Yeah, one's there.
And
2B. Or 2B. Why is there a B there?
And I have a question mark next to that, because I don't, I think that B is supposed to be an R.
Mhm.
It was supposed to be
Rewrite
rewrite,
2.4 Roman numeral 2 should have been an R.
and I haven't moved it, that you all moved it to GC two before number 4.
That's good. Okay, so that's Roman numeral 2 and Roman numeral 3, where did I see that? 2,
It
4.
went with GC two as well.
2,
I didn't see that
Yeah,
anywhere.
just
2.4 Roman numeral 3 or Roman numeral 4, I didn't see anywhere. So 2.4 Roman numeral 3 and 4.
And 2.4 Roman numeral 3, I had that it was gonna go in GC 2.
That's where I moved it to, so
Okay.
So,
so
We
we
need to
talked
add it
about
here.
it, so we put it under GC.
Yeah, put it in the GC
2.4.
quadrant.
okay.
3. And 4,
Mhm.
I had handbook.
I had, let's see, 1,
Yep,
2, and
that's
3
where
in
it is.
GC
Oh, no,
two.
that's 2, 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's anywhere, but it needs to go somewhere.
Okay. So let's put it in the handbook for now.
Okay.
That's G.
2.4 Roman numeral 4,
Yeah.
put it down in the handbook. 2, 4, 5, I think we have we took care of 2.5A, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
We didn't, I couldn't find number 2, so.
I have a thing that says handbook. Or, I also had GC 2 number 3.
I have that as number 3, and I have A, B, and C to go under GC 2 number 3.
So where's, I'm sorry, I confused myself. Where's 2.452?
I didn't find it.
Okay.
And it might have been, I mean, that's Robert's rules, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So it might have been that we had said handbook.
yeah,
yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
so should we put it there now?
yeah, put it there for now.
That's 2.45,
Five, number
A.
2.
2.
A2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 3 and 4 we got in the quadrant.
And then,
5 is under delete.
right,
Yep, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9
right,
are taken care of.
Yeah.
mhm,
5B was also under delete.
mhm.
Yep, okay. 4, 6, A through E.
E is up
under
in the
GC.
quadrant, yeah.
So that's taken care of. 2.47, I just thought I saw that.
2.4,
No, it was
that's
8.
8.
2.47 is in OEs. So
Yes, there it is.
2.47A is in
Yep,
the
got
OEs.
it. Okay,
With that
got that.
revised, yeah.
And 2.48A is taken care of, it's down under delete.
But what about I couldn't find 2.4 Roman numeral 7B.
No, that's all special on this schedule.
And I had that one crossed off, but,
Roman numeral 7B. I couldn't find that anywhere.
no, it's not on here.
No, I
So
thought,
is that to go under, put it under delete?
Notice of all special or rescheduled meetings, including the agenda and supporting materials will be provided
Because this is, provided. Never mind.
to the members of the board no less than 24 hours prior to meeting. I feel like that is somewhere already.
We
but-
have it, because I just,
We talked a little bit about it going into
Yeah.
OEs as far as the staff, right, providing, but
Hmm.
I know we talked about it.
yeah, I know, it's
Probably under
board check.
board officer, or
Board was,
what was that?
oh, David was under the secretary.
Under
Under
secretary.
Secretary, that
Secretary.
you, to
Officers
ensure,
will-
Right,
no,
Something about meetings.
no, that wasn't there.
Board notification, okay. Oh, I have it under, what is this? Under GC2,
Okay.
it's on page 7 in your government thing. It's one of the things we add.
okay.
And I added a new number 15, board meeting notifications, because you all had a new one.
So we took care of it, so we need to
Yeah,
put
we
it
need to
under
put
the
it-
So
GC quadrant.
it's under GC2.
Yeah, we need to stick it up under
Yeah.
this GC quadrant.
'Cause I'm-
2.47B.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what about 2.47C?
I, let's
That's
see.
under the same thing. It's under a GC2.
Yeah, we took
Yes.
care of it, but we don't have
Right.
it up here on the quadrant.
Okay,
So it goes with the B.
B and C.
B and C.
okay,
Yep, it's there.
So what are you calling C?
this one right here, the next
Executive
page.
assistant shall provide notice.
So I just added,
Board meeting,
Page 13.
page 13, there's no C. Oh, up there, got it, sorry.
You squiggled it.
I squiggled it. I went to 8. I need lesson on my Roman numerals.
They got confused.
Okay,
Okay, so now we're
2.48.
Now we're 2.4 Roman numeral 8, which
okay.
we've got B
B.
taken care of,
Yeah.
and we got A taken care of.
Here's C, D, and F in handbook.
Let's find Everybody find 8C. 2.4, 8C.
It's under handbook, 2.4,
handbook.
8C, D, and F.
Yes.
C, D, and F, roll
Yeah,
it
yeah.
up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just like a game.
Yeah.
Okay, that takes us to 9.
And wait, okay, and we deleted A, got it, okay.
So now we're at Roman numeral 9, 2.4, Roman numeral 9.
It's
And that's under
handbook.
handbook.
It's under handbook. 10,
10,
10 is up under GC.
under GC,
Yeah,
that's
B.
where it belongs. A
Hello.
and B.
Hello?
And that takes us to 11,
Hello?
which I just saw,
Yes.
that's under delete. A is
Oh, I
under
can't hear you.
delete.
Who's that?
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Which one's delete?
A,
And B and C are up under GC.
You on 10 or 11?
Oh,
10.
11.
11, yeah.
11.
Okay.
That takes care of A, B, and C.
D I have is in handbook, so let's see if it's there.
B, we got under GC.
No, D,
Oh,
D, 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 D.
D,
It's
D,
there.
D.
It's there under handbook.
There.
Uh,
Okay, that takes us
Roman
to
numeral
12.
12.
Or the second 11.
It's under GC, A, B, and C. As is 13,
Right.
is right there, and the only one I couldn't find in that group is 14, 2.4, 14.
And we talked about this one.
We
right?
did.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Here it is, it's under OE.
Is it?
Yep,
Excellent, okay,
Yeah.
cool,
all right.
great.
Fine, we fine.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Page 17, 2.5 delegation of authority. I
It's
know.
under,
It's under board CEO
Right, board
relations.
CEO, so we got that taken
Yeah.
care of.
2.6.
Are we just rolling over you, Rachel?
No, I'm listening, y'all.
Okay, all right, I just
Take
wanted,
a bus, take a
Yeah.
Okay.
just wanted to check.
2.6 is there, under board.
2.6
Yeah.
In its entirety,
is entirety.
Yeah.
as is 3.1. If you look under GC, you're gonna see 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3 right next to each other.
Mhm.
So all of 2.6 was put under board CEO? Because I had board superintendent, yeah.
Right. Yes,
You did.
Got it,
Yeah.
yep. Okay, so now we're in
2.7.
3.1?
Oh, that's the work plan.
Yeah,
Well,
nothing there yet.
intentionally blank. Work plan, page left intentionally blank. That would be a good story. Okay, now we are at 3.1.
And that's under GC.
Yep. 3.2 and 3.3. 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3, they're all covered
Yep.
under GC.
2, 3, okay.
Okay, takes us to 3.4. 3.4 is all chopped up. 3.4, Roman numeral 1, we took care of in GC. 3.4.2.
Is over in
Board
superintendent.
superintendent relations.
That's board super.
AB, A, and B.
And B.
That's it.
Right.
Got it.
Roman numeral 3, 3.4, Roman numeral 3, I just saw
A,
it.
B, D.
Is under GC.
Is under GC.
AD, yeah, it's under GC.
So is 4 and 5.
4, 5.
8 and 13.
8 and 13.
8 and
6 is handbook,
But what are the
Where's
others?
5?
up under GC.
4, 5, 6.
6 is in
Handbook.
handbook.
6 is in handbook. 7.
7's delete.
Delete.
8. 8 is up under GC, right?
9, 10, and 11 is under delete.
Okay, so now we gotta find 12.
I think 12 is crossed out anyway. And, isn't it?
12 was crossed out
12
anyway.
was crossed out,
Oh,
that was
okay,
right in
yeah.
there.
So, and 13 is up under GC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now gets us to 3.5. Addressing violence, oh, 3.5.
This is the one we weren't touching.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
This
it's,
is already
yeah,
in
it's in
GC
GC.
C9.
and 3.6, I wasn't quite sure, because,
3.6, I moved to GC 10.
all right, it's got 3.6, and then it's got 3.6 Roman numeral 2, so,
So you had me move the whole thing
right.
to GC 10. Yeah.
But it says 3.6 Roman numeral 1, B2 is in delete.
Was that the one, was that recently changed? Remember, wasn't that changed to that if you attend
You
two
got
meetings?
it per diem, yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't go through 3 readings, right?
Right, so that's
Right,
what.
didn't go
So
through-
this is still in effect right here?
Board members meeting. Right now, what's in effect is whatever committee meeting, whether it meets 2 that day, you get the $50 per meeting. That's what
Right.
you're getting.
Because it wasn't a policy, it was an
Right.
implementation issue.
Okay.
It was,
Right,
What- so-
exactly.
So this
Yeah.
one, is that why we deleted it then? Because it's not true?
I don't know, I wasn't in the group that did that.
Right, so I don't know why.
It's not a policy.
Kathy, do you remember, is that, John and Mel were in that group too?
Yeah, I just have it crossed out.
I have it deleted, I mean, we
Rachel-
put it on.
Rachel too.
Yeah.
Rachel?
Oh, thanks, Rachel. No, she wasn't in our small group.
Oh,
Can you hear?
Yeah, I'm trying to find what number you guys are on.
It's under the meeting stipend, policy 3.6, B, meeting stipend.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Kathy, I think we had, remember toward the end, we were going through it quickly
Yeah.
because we had taken longer than any other group, and for some reason, whomever,
Well, John was in your group.
Right.
So
I
John knows
think-
their policy committee.
You probably deleted it because that's not what we're doing.
I think
And
so.
that's why it was
Right.
deleted, because
Right.
what we're
Policy.
doing, right,
so that's why it was
It's an
separated.
Right,
implement- it's a-
exactly.
It's an implementation and not a policy.
So the rest of it was accepted except for number 2, right?
Yeah,
One
B2 is
B2.
under delete.
Yeah.
So it's 1B2 you're looking at?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was, and I remember that was an issue in our policy committee too, like that it wasn't consistent and we had some questions and we went back and forth about hypotheticals and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
It
and
seems
if
to
you-
conflict
if you-
with one.
If you
It
believe
does.
number 1,
Yeah,
then you
that's
don't need
right.
number 2.
Exactly.
Because then you get paid for each meeting, or you don't.
Yeah.
depending-
Well, we do, so right now, as of July 1, you get paid for each meeting so that we go back to what number 1 says, because it was wasn't doing that. So that's why 2 was deleted.
Okay, so 3.6. Do we have the rest of it taken care of?
Yeah,
Got
we
B2 taken care of, but I'm not seeing it.
I don't see the other 3
I don't
sixes.
see it in the quadrant. And you said we already moved it?
Yes,
So-
you had me move it to, it became, you replaced the GC 10, so you had me,
Right,
move this to GC, so it's
Right.
a GC 10 now.
so
So-
the rest of 3.6.1 goes to the GC quadrant. Right.
Yeah.
And under GC, we have 3.6.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, it's
Where is
written,
it?
it's written
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
horizontally.
I see it.
Yeah.
And 3.6 Roman numeral 2 is there.
Yes.
Right.
'Cause
So it's written horizontally.
I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of that is now.
It's already up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 3.7 and 3.8 are both there also.
Yep, they're all there.
3.9 and 3.10 are in OEs.
And OEs, right.
Yeah.
Oops, excuse me.
And then 4.1 is in GC.
GC, yep. 4.1 rewrite.
Yep.
GC. And 5.1 is up under board CEO relationship.
Yeah.
That's
it.
That's the whole enchilada. So now we know that we've taken care of everything in the quadrant. We know everything is in the quadrant somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. you want to go now through the handbook and the deletes and make sure that we agree
Sure.
of those?
Yeah.
And I'm leaving the OEs till last because
Okay.
so that's going to be a big one, although I think we have an easy solution to that.
Okay, so we're going to
So
the
go to the
hand,
handbook part of this quadrant
okay,
and make sure that it belongs in the handbook.
and I'm gonna
So-
get out what I typed up.
So can I ask a question? Since this is my first of these, what was your definition of the handbook? I mean, what did you?
That's a question we have outstanding.
Okay.
One of the questions we have outstanding is what is the role of the handbook and
Yeah.
how do we do revisions to it?
Okay.
Right.
All right, thank you.
And we talked a little bit about the role of the handbook is good to know.
Good to
Wish
know.
I had known.
Yeah, good to know, good
Good to know.
orientation.
Orientation materials, or yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But we do have to deal with how do we keep it updated, how do we make revisions to it. Another question we have outstanding is where the motions go. We need
We
some
need
kind
a
of
depository for
Some
the.
kind of repository for motions.
Yeah.
And as
Yeah,
Rach,
I think that needs to be, sorry.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I was gonna say that needs, I think that needs to be in addition to the manual under, like GC or something that basically says if there is, a policy that comes out of board action that, part of that process involves the board determining where it goes in the policy manual.
as part of the motion, right?
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't require additional readings or whatever, and maybe where that language is, where it talks about, it has to go through, a certain amount of readings before something is adopted. If it comes from board action, then that should be like the exception to the rule.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
But are all motions policies?
No.
No.
So what about a motion that's not a
Let's just say
policy?
that.
I'm sorry, say again?
Not unless the motion says that, to
Got it.
adopt a policy
Okay.
or blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Because then it keeps us all, it consistently would keep all board members apprised of the governance structure and that we're using coherent governance, and then it also reinforces, where those things go and what is good policy, and it helps them vet out good policy, I think.
Yep.
Or vet out bad policy, excuse me.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Keeps the focus where it belongs. Just
Yeah.
like, just, if you,
So
I
are
was
you-
thinking of my motion, I'm sorry, I was thinking of my motion about,
Operate that.
articulating the benefits before you purchase
Oh,
stuff. That would be an OE. So
Yeah.
Right.
in the new governance model, I would say, I propose
Yep.
that we create an OE policy,
Yeah.
And that,
Exactly.
and just like Rachel says, that would take care of it,
Yeah.
and then it's done.
Yeah.
But there, we
And
do
then
have
something
to,
that the board, that Robin could just go in and add in, and it doesn't require additional
overhead,
numbers.
yeah,
right.
cuts the overhead, yeah.
So where is this, I'm driving, so does anybody, recall what policy it was, where it discusses the additional readings?
I can't remember which one, but it's in.
Because I think that it would fit in well in that section. I don't remember what policy it is that talks about changes require multiple
Says
readings
it
or
in
whatever.
red, and then,
2.3, Roman numeral 3 that says
Yes.
2 readings at regular meetings?
yeah, but it's in the GCs also.
Okay.
But it's GC 2, number 7.
GC 2, number 7.
That's what we were.
Yeah, we're done
Related
with this
to-
one now.
We are.
Okay.
Yes.
It no longer exists.
Yay.
Number 7.
That's kind of had it.
GC 2, number 7?
That's supposed to go.
First cycle monitoring, and then.
GC.
Oh,
What page is it?
I don't have a second.
I don't have a 7
Oh,
either.
Oh,
We
yeah,
have
you do,
6.
yeah, you do.
Turn the page.
Number-
It's on the next page.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
2, 3, 4. The board by majority vote may revise or amend its policies at any time. However, as a customary practice, a proposed policy revision will be discussed at one session of the board prior to being approved at a subsequent board meeting.
Which is
So
two.
that becomes number nine.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
number 9,
Yeah.
yeah. We got it.
And I,
Where's that?
It's GC2 and it's now the new number 9.
and I think that's a good idea. I was going to say that I don't know that it should become policy right at the moment it's
I agree.
introduced. I think might be better to just make it a motion, and if it's approved, and then you say, okay, you know, I think people need a little time to think about, does that become a policy, or could it be incorporated into the wording of a different policy? And I don't know if that can all be done at the meeting at that time.
Did you hear that, Rachel?
Yeah, I understand making sure it's not duplicative of other policies.
Right?
At the same time, though, if the board votes, that's
That's it.
you're creating a policy, so
Well,
if
then
the
that-
board's taking a vote on it,
Then this is
We had a
wrong
long-
already.
We had a long discussion that you can't change the wording of a motion.
right.
We had a long discussion about that, so,
So then this number 9 is not right.
Because it says it takes place at the next,
to
We
amend it.
discussed
It's
at one
policies,
session.
We
yeah.
discussed it on,
Yeah, you're
The first
discussing it at
meeting,
one
the second
meeting and then you.
Right, it's a policy, but a motion, once it passes, it's done. You can't change it. You can't change the
Right.
wording.
So when someone says, I want to make a motion that the board adopt a policy, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
once that vote comes in, that's it.
And Rachel, I hear what you're saying. The only thing I'm wondering then is if it's as written in GC2 number 9, that's already not right.
Yeah.
When it says, however, as a customary practice, to be a
proposed
policy revision, sorry, I had to put my glasses on, will be discussed at one session of the board prior to being approved at a subsequent board meeting. So already, I mean, if we go with what you're,
One, so I can't look at it.
yeah, I know.
I have a 9 on mine.
Turn the page. It's on the next page.
No, I don't know what I've got, but I think
Okay.
It's on page 6 of 62 of the Beaufort County. You don't have the updated one as of today, but it still should be on page 6 of 62.
And it's,
And it's in black because it was already a Ori GC.
Yeah, I think I have the wrong printout.
Okay.
Mine only goes to 8.
all right. Well, it basically says we can revise or amend the policies at any time. But as a customary practice, you go through 2 readings.
Right.
Oh, where was that pulled from? That was pulled.
I think that was pulled from Orange
So,
County.
and
That
that
was-
was
that was
Ori.
Ori.
See, we haven't gone through, well, no, your groups, the other 2 groups went through the Ori County ones and decided whether
So that
it,
was good,
and said that was good.
yeah,
And the two groups almost had identical recommendations,
right.
which is
Well-
interesting, working separately.
Yeah.
But I don't think we were far enough down the road to anticipate motions. And how do we deal with motions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel and I are, because we discussed it at the policy committee meeting, but,
Yeah.
that's a little down the road when you're thinking about this stuff.
And whatever
I mean,
we
maybe
just,
it's something that when we bring this forward along with the, since these are gonna technically be completely new, this one and the others that we've discussed previously, the other policies that may need to be incorporated, maybe that's one where we add it in, but we put an asterisk next to it and we want board input on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the discussion point for the board, I think.
yeah,
Because it's a bit of a thorny issue, isn't it? Because on one hand, you have a motion is a motion, and once it passes, that's it, it's done.
Right.
And on the other hand, you have the policies. Well, we talked it to death in Rachel's policy committee, we never came to a conclusion.
well, I would think that if we're going to do this, then the first time a motion is made, it would have to be made in a way that says, I propose that we consider, or that we discuss this motion and vote on it at the next meeting, or something, you know what I'm saying?
That's like what you all do with the committees, because right now, when you make motions out of committees, you are now kind of trained to, I make a motion to forward this to the full board, blah, 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 blah. So,
That would be where the discussion goes, I guess, with the board.
I think the idea behind it is really good, because it allows, you don't necessarily think of, okay, what are the ramifications of that policy change? And if you have a little time to sort of digest it, so to speak.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes
Well, we could
it's
just,
like,
you
and
can
you might
make
already
it
have
stronger
it in
and
here
say
that
not
you
by
can just
custom,
add
right?
it. It might be a policy that you,
Yeah, you're right.
that you already
Take away
have.
the customary, just say, it is a policy.
Yeah.
I don't know,
All right, well, that's something we're gonna have
to
to
discuss.
discuss.
yeah, I mean, we could,
That's why I've
yeah,
got it as a question,
Yeah,
where the motions go.
the motion would be, yeah.
Because sometimes motions are made in the spur of the moment.
Right.
And
we
number
have to
12
say-
talks about motions.
Yeah, a proposed policy revision. I move that we have a proposed policy revision, blah, blah, blah. And then the following time, we follow up. Right, okay, which. Okay.
And if chair could always say, I want an ad hoc committee to do that. All right, so where are we now?
We're gonna go to the
We're
handbook.
going through the handbook.
Okay.
2.1, 2C, 3, 4, 7.
We have to go back.
We're
We
not
have to go back to
done
this.
We have to go back to your policy.
I keep trying to throw it.
Hey, before I forget it,
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna make a suggestion maybe for, the creation of that, any motion that, is an additional policy or revision of policy would require 2/3 vote.
2/3 vote?
Yeah, it's just a suggestion, I just don't wanna forget it.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I'll throw it out there, maybe somebody could write it down.
Okay.
I think maybe that would, help, maybe.
Well, a motion can pass by a majority. I hear what you're saying, we're trying to come up with a shortcut.
what does Robert Rules say?
About policies?
It doesn't
It
have anything
doesn't.
about policies, it only talks about how you run meetings.
Oh.
Yeah, so one thing that might, sorry, Kim.
Okay.
Yeah, so, that was on page 6 again. No, tell me, no, that was this one. Can we go back to, it was on page 6, right? About the policy,
About the motions.
yeah.
So if you
Okay,
look.
so it's number 9.
Yeah.
But what about, I mean, I think the idea behind it is good. What about, the board by majority vote may revise or amend its policies at any time, and then not make as a customary practice, just say an initial policy revision, or the initial policy revision or addition will be discussed in one session and voted on in a second session. And you could just make it don't say as a customary practice, because that leaves,
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be another way to do it.
Yeah,
Something to think about.
I can certainly go with that.
yeah. I like the idea of having some
Me
more
too.
time to consider the ramifications, the unintended consequences, that type of thing.
Mhm.
I'm on the fence,
Okay.
I'm on the fence. All right. So we're back in this one.
Handbook.
2.1, 2C, 3, 4, 7.
Rachel, you know where we are?
I think so.
Okay.
2, 3,
Or 2.1, 2C, 2C, which is the board will serve in a quasi-judicial function on appeals by parents, legal guardians, students, blah, 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 blah. And that's in the handbook.
That would be on page 4 in our table of contents
Right.
policy.
Um, federal law.
What about, what do we do with 2.1 Roman numeral 1?
Oh, I'm just going by this quadrant here.
Okay,
I'm assuming we already took care of everything. So I'm just looking at handbook 2.1, 2C. The very first one, and serving in a quasi judicial function when it acts on appeals by blah, blah, blah. And I don't know whether that's a legal requirement for us or not.
Should we just hold it in the handbook until,
Yeah, we're putting legal requirements in the handbook, right? I'm pretty much,
that's, yeah.
it's what we decided to do, so I think that's probably where it goes. Everybody else? I'm done talking on this one, everybody else?
So, we do seem to be I'm sorry,
Right.
we do seem to be missing 2.1 Roman numeral 1. Oh, wait, we put it in delete, right, we added, put it in delete, okay, so. Sorry.
2.11, okay.
Yeah, okay, then we went, okay, then we went down to 2.
You were improving your grade too.
I was.
she's up to something.
Okay, so we
So-
agree 2C stays in the handbook. And then we go to 2.1, Roman numeral 3, 4, 4, liability and regular term of office. Is that handbook stuff? Seems,
That's handbook, and then what was changed in the policy committee was the term of office for boards elected during a regular 1 week after the certification of election.
and that's,
That was changed.
and that's a law.
That's the
Yes.
law.
Okay.
Exactly.
And so,
We don't do it, but it's.
Yeah.
right,
You gotta start
I
it
know,
at some
how are we
point.
gonna start it?
Well, the problem is, you get certified for a certain period of time. And that certain period of time is through December 31st. You know,
Which I think
it's
everybody on the board right now is certified through the
through the
31st of
31st, so it would
December.
have to be,
so
This new
it
group-
was decided that the new group coming in would get certified 1 week, so you would start the new group coming in, correct,
right, which is
what the
gonna
law says.
require
And
somebody
start
to
in
notify
November.
the Board of Elections.
Yes.
Um,
Number 3,
That's gonna be a
But
problem.
That's a problem because you are certified, it is still gonna be a problem because everyone, you're certified through December. So if a new person, if an incumbent does not return, you're still certified till December and the new person doesn't start, so they were trying to figure out how to make that work, and it would be like, say, years down the road when that would be able to happen.
I have a question about number 3 that's in the handbook, about that no board members should be placed in a position of personal liability. Is the handbook the right place for that, or should that be a policy to make sure that all that, although I think in the OEs, it does talk about making sure that, the right insurance. I mean, because if we put that in the handbook, it doesn't have to happen, right?
Mhm.
Right. So that's my question, where maybe this should not be in the handbook, but should be someplace where, it mandates that insurance is purchased, or,
Would you rather see them as a GC?
I'm just asking.
Kathy, when I was reading that also, and, we were going through this. And I'm thinking, now that we have this new understanding
Yeah.
of what all this is, that I think that should go in GC,
Yeah,
you know?
I think so too, because otherwise it doesn't protect
Right.
us, it doesn't,
Has
has
no-
no, requirement that that's,
The GC role and responsibility,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2.1,
is that two?
is that correct?
It's number 3,
Roman numeral 3.
2.1 Roman numeral 3.
Okay.
Although I don't, No board member should be placed in a position of personal good performance of the responsibilities vested in them by the voters. Therefore, the BCSD will maintain insurance.
But that's,
So, does the BCSD maintain the insurance for the board members, or does the board maintain the insurance for the board members?
the
Through
BCSD.
Okay, so we don't have it through our school board association? I thought
Yes
that
and
the-
no, I think.
I think the district gets it from the school.
You have one through the.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I'm not sure which
School Board
one.
Association.
Yeah, we
Right.
qualify for insurance through the school board association, but I can't tell you
That's
exactly.
in
Do you know?
case you have an accident.
Yeah, that's separate.
Yeah.
separate,
Yeah, that's separate, because you all do get like accidental, you know. But the school board, I think the BCSD goes through the school board trust insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is talking about like personal liability, it's not talking about a personal insurance, so who holds the personal liability for a school board member?
I don't know.
I have to ask Jennifer.
So, I mean, I just, if we're gonna put it in the
Yeah,
policy,
then
it's
it
gotta
should be
be,
available
it's
to
gotta
people
be.
it goes.
And then there's a period, and then it says, board or members of the board, the superintendent or so on, or any other group of employees employed, that's not a full sentence, so maybe that should be a
Yeah.
comma, but, so is it therefore Beaufort County School District will maintain insurance to protect the district, board or members of the board, the superintendent, and then so on and so forth.
That would be in case you got sued by somebody and it wasn't your fault,
Right.
and you would be represented at no cost to you.
Right, no, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, just it's not a complete
Yeah, it
sentence,
should
and
be
I
a
don't know what
period.
is,
Right.
well, and is that what we really, all of that belongs in the policy? The governance policy?
You know,
I think it depends on where I think we gotta, do the background on, who carries the insurance.
Maybe too.
yeah,
Because then it goes on, it's talking about the insurance will protect those individuals against liability, kind of damages or injury
Right, in your official
from the
capacity.
board, right? A member of the board. I don't know, I just think that maybe Wendy would look at that paragraph.
We don't know what to do with it. There's an explosive part of this also, which you read. Board or members of the board, superintendent, principals, other administrators, teachers, or any other group of employees employed by
by
the
the
board.
board.
Employed by the board.
That's, as I started reading it more closely than we did during our small group, and I'm like, oh, this is
That indicates
heavy.
that all these folks are employed
Right.
By us.
by the board. So this needs some,
Or any other groups of
needs some
employees.
focus.
Well, it says any other groups that are
Because
employed
we've
by
had
the
that
board.
discussion.
Yeah,
But you all have three employees.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, the superintendent, me, so, and I would fall in that other group.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and if you took out
If we took
Does that
out,
mean
other,
that- right.
if you took the word other out, I could go with it. When it says any other group, it gives the impression of all the previous groups.
right,
So I think it should be a policy, but it can't go in as written until Wendy looks it over and we find out really what is our insurance.
So this is a
And
rewrite.
if that, and if we have insurance for the district, then.
They're different policies, and I've
For what
forgotten how you, and we qualified, and Scott Price told me, but I don't remember now.
Yeah.
I think you
That's- I
have a
don't
thing,
think-
I have a thing of under
Yeah,
what
so,
your
and
benefits
some of
are.
ours are through the South Carolina, school, what's the other?
Insurance
Members-
trust.
Insurance trust, right.
But is that for liability?
I don't know.
No, the liability is through the School Boards Association,
Okay.
and then you get, I forgot how many thousands or whatever for each school.
100,000.
Okay, it's 100,000
Of what kind of insurance?
liability.
Meaning what?
I can go down and get
I
it.
just,
Yes, I mean,
but you know,
because
what, I don't
can't-
wanna waste his
yeah,
time to do that, but I mean, I think that's something we should
It's
do.
important.
Yeah.
You know,
So we
and
put that under the question mark.
it seems like part of this should go under policy, the intent goes under policy, but the wording probably needs to be.
Rewrite.
yeah.
Mhm. All right.
The other thing that this maybe should have is, it's the powers and, for the performance of the responsibilities vested in them, but they also have to be acting in good faith. that's a key thing usually the lawyers say, that,
It's a key phrase.
a key phrase, that you're acting in good faith, you know.
Yeah, so
It needs attention by
So
an
we're
attorney.
gonna move it to GC quadrant, is that right?
Yeah.
So we're
Right.
taking it out of handbook.
Yeah,
What is this again, 2.13?
it's 3, yeah.
So 2.13, we move it up to here.
You know, and I would bet that this was provided to the group by the South Carolina School Board Association. Remember when they
Yeah.
got some,
Right, most-
so that wording
most of the
probably
red
came,
stuff in here.
yeah, right from that.
But it doesn't, like you said, it's Tricia,
Yeah.
the second sentence isn't, doesn't,
No.
the third sentence doesn't make sense. to me.
Doesn't, right, it doesn't, you're right. Okay,
Something was
Yeah,
lost.
that would make sense that they would put it in, because
Yeah.
that's their business.
right,
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll add that to GC.
okay.
So,
So
what
2.13.
are we doing with 4, which is the term of office? That goes up under,
I don't know how you fix that, really.
is that handbook or GC?
I don't know how you.
Well, it's the state law, so
Yeah,
we're kind of sticking the state laws on handbook.
yeah.
But how do you fix that? Because everybody that's currently serving has been certified right through
December.
December 31st.
Yeah,
Right. Well, the new
So-
folks coming in would only be certified until the first week after their next election.
but the people
Yeah, but the
they're
person they're replacing though is gonna
is
say, well,
still-
I have my service
Service.
until the last day of
Yeah.
December. Yes.
We're gonna have to ask Mr. Down.
I think we will need to ask,
The Board of Elections.
The Board of
Yeah,
Elections.
Board of
There you go.
Elections.
Because it may be a state law, and when we read it, it's a state law, it's number 10.
Right,
And yet nobody adheres to it, so.
No. other school districts do.
Some do.
I remember, yeah, some of them do,
The
yeah.
county council doesn't do it
County
either,
council.
because we follow behind what county council does. So,
And the county
Interesting.
council doesn't do it either.
they don't
But they
swear
have
in
cer-
until January.
They got their own laws,
Yeah,
as we found out, you know.
So however, what, we follow behind what county council does.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think we need a legal
I do.
answer to this.
Yeah,
From the
exactly.
Board of Elections,
Yeah.
that's who we should, yeah.
so is it staying in handbook or going to policy then? If we're gonna get a legal,
If it's the law, it doesn't need to be a policy,
true, you're right, okay. So
so it would stay
Stay in
in
handbook.
handbook, but
But
it's just how we enforce it,
clarification.
it is
Is
the
our
question.
How we implement
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Or implement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 7?
I think I got the fix on that. We'll see what they say. Okay, now, that
And
takes.
number 7's that stays in the handbook, right?
Yeah.
Because
We
that's the,
agreed 4 and 7 stay in the handbook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's all, yeah.
Okay, so we're done with that line. So now we're at 2.2, Roman numeral 3, letter M. Roman numeral 3, M, executive session meetings.
That would be a law, so
Yeah.
that stays in handbook.
And, yeah,
Yeah, I think that stays there.
and when I wrote this up for the handbook, I Googled what's acceptable for, and I put it right in here. I don't know if we want to include that, but
I think that would be smart.
just so that, you know,
There's only 3,
there's 4 actually.
there are 4.
Yes. What is that
I
second
think I
page?
left that in my other folder.
It's, you know, discussion of employment, appointment compensation, discussion of negotiations, investigated proceedings or allegations of criminal misconduct, and discussion of matters concerning the proposed location, expansion, and provision of
Oh,
services.
there's the investigative allegations.
Yeah,
All right. I haven't heard
Executive
that one
session.
before.
but look it up. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
I
take
trust you.
my
I-
word.
I
mean,
trust
look
you.
it up.
All right, so we're keeping it in the handbook and we'll add the
Add the,
explanations.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's a real good idea.
Uh-huh.
then we won't argue about it so much.
Right.
And we won't need an AG opinion. Okay, G is governing lawfully. I think we beat that one to death. It should stay in the handbook. And O is the same thing, legally, and they're kind of redundant.
Are you still there, Rachel?
Yes.
No, okay.
Do you have kids in the car?
No, we're back home, but now they're asking for snacks.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Okay. I feel bad if they have to listen to us. Oh,
Especially if they're hungry.
They did inquire, they were wondering who was on the phone, and I said, Mommy's friend.
You have a room full.
I can hear after the phone hangs up, they're your friends?
That's what you have boring friends.
Boring. Boring. Okay, we're at 2.2, Roman numeral 4. Pursuant to SC Coherent Data Mathematics Revision 2004, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. That's the law. So that stays in the handbook. That takes us to 2.3, Roman numeral 1.
You also said the opening paragraph too.
Yeah, what did we do with the opening paragraph?
We put that
Put it
in the handbook,
We put it in the
2.3.
handbook? Yeah. And then the Roman numeral 1 is proposals regarding policies. I mean, that's sort of the handbook to me. But
Yeah,
yes, handbook?
I think so.
I'm sorry, I was reading. I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm so sorry. I actually was focusing in on what I was reading. I heard you, but I didn't.
Sprinkles down.
Would you say it one more time, please?
The grading curve is you get 1A, 2 Bs, okay, we got the 2 Bs. We're at, oops.
We're at 2.3.
2.3, Roman numeral 1, which is proposals regarding policies may originate with a member of the board, the superintendent, a staff member, or a stakeholder. It shall be presented in writing and given to the board.
On receipt, the board will use
The
careful
board will
and
use
orderly
careful
process.
and orderly process in examining proposals prior to the action upon them by the board.
It sounds like your GC,
Yeah.
that was in the GC when they talked about motions,
Yeah.
and that you wait and then you go.
But this
Yeah, but
is,
this is like staff members and stakeholders
can say,
Bring it.
hey, I
could
think you need a
suggest a
policy
policy.
on this.
Like Mr. Cambria could suggest a policy.
Do they have to be in writing?
It says,
That's
I
what it
know, I mean,
says.
or even our own, because it says the members of the board, it shall be in writing. So if someone's going to make a request, I mean,
yeah,
That would be interesting, going back to our discussion of motions.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
See, that's why I was reading it, David.
All right, you got it, you still got your A.
I don't want anything in
Sorry.
here with, since we're
Yeah,
doing this
some-
hard work to
Yeah.
fight against something else.
Yeah, somehow we gotta resolve that motions policy
Yeah.
Yeah.
line. I'm sure there are different opinions on it.
And even that last sentence, to say something as ambiguous as, the board will use a careful and orderly process. I mean, we need to know what the process is and not just,
See, this, I'm sure this came from the,
right.
School boards
But, you know, we
association.
can't say we'll use a process without having the process enumerated
Right.
somewhere.
Yeah, I would jettison the whole thing myself.
I would, you know, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think that the stakeholders,
Yeah.
they talk to us about what policies they would like to see or whatever. Do you think the stakeholders really?
No, we are governing superintendent relations, which is up to
Yeah.
us, operation, you know,
Policies are up
expectations
to
and
us.
results.
Yeah, I think we should take this whole
I
thing
agree.
out.
Move
Yeah.
this to a delete.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right, when
So
Rob gets back.
2.31, 2.31 goes to delete. Okay.
So So that gets us to 2.4 Roman numeral 8, CDF. 2.4 Roman numeral 8. C,
That's the
D,
agenda.
and F. This is talking about getting topics on a future board agenda. Request should be via email, and we know that's really no longer true.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because we
We
have.
have it on the,
On the agenda,
agenda,
got it on
yeah.
the agenda, future topics. I wish we had stayed with the emails, but,
Well, I think the future topic was supposed to be a catch-all, if I'm not mistaken, like having that as on the agenda as a section. That was supposed to be a catch-all, if something maybe came up during a meeting and someone wanted to make a request right then.
yeah.
But I mean, I think we still have been using the emails as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I think it's morphed from its original intent that you just described.
It has, because I remember when we had the discussion about future topics, I clearly remember saying, just because somebody would like it there's no guarantees with the future topic. It's just
Right.
to plant, you know what I'm saying? There's not, and it has morphed, I think, because now it's an expectation that a future topic
Is already decided upon.
is already decided upon, that it's
Yeah.
gonna be an agenda item. And I think we keep track of the future topics and they eventually make their way to the agenda.
Maybe we should just not have that and just have this, and I'm beginning to wonder if this shouldn't be policy instead of handbook. You know, because that way it states very clearly for anyone that might think that, you know, their request for an agenda item isn't being honored. I mean, this shows exactly how it's done.
I agree.
Do you?
Move it to policy.
Oh, I agree, and I think maybe straighten out the future topic suggestions
Yeah.
to remind folks that they still have to send an email.
Yeah.
You good with that, Rachel?
Yeah.
But-
Because I just think that, this is just more, you got a paper trail, it's more specific. Because it even says in here about responding to an agenda of what request.
See, that's the part I like.
Yeah.
It used to be that the board secretary had to respond to every.
We should put secretary instead of officers, and that, I think.
You know, that might be, then we know who's doing it.
Exactly,
That's
because
the
we.
way, when I was
Exactly, it's
secretary,
like,
that was the
okay, now
deal.
who's supposed to respond?
Yeah.
It's really an issue.
It is
So-
an issue.
Uh-huh.
We should put it here, but then we gotta also put it under board
Under the
responsibilities.
responsibilities.
Right.
So where would this go? Well, I guess we could just put it in this GC quadrant for now and then decide where it goes. GC2 is gonna be a manual all by itself, but that's okay.
So we would change this, once that determination has been made, the board secretary will notify the board member of the plan for addressing the topic?
I think that
That's the way
it's
it
so
used to
important to
be.
have one person.
Yes, it
Otherwise,
is.
are you doing it, are
It is.
you doing
You
it?
can never assign responsibility to a group.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah,
You can't do
exactly,
it. It doesn't
right,
work.
that's the
Yeah.
problem.
It's always one person.
But then it says, then also it says, let's say then the board officers will determine the appropriate agenda.
Well, that's
So
true.
that should
That's
be,
true.
yeah,
That's
that
true.
should be,
The
exactly,
secretary
because
just
that's at
reports
the
back to the
agenda.
person.
Yeah,
Right,
once we talk about an agenda study
Study,
and
exactly.
decide,
But yeah, I think it's not good the way it is right now,
No.
but who's supposed to answer?
No. I liked it the way it was when I was secretary.
Yeah.
I got back to him and I told him this is what was decided at the meeting.
yeah,
Okay, that's what.
yeah. And we've had, we remember that other thing when we put the FOIA request in, the officers had decided it was gonna go on an agenda like in February, and then it made it in the newspaper that it wasn't, but it wasn't communicated.
Yeah. And it was we decided at the next public meeting where it was gonna be.
Yeah, so,
So 2.48C is gonna be moved to GC?
yes.
2.4,
We moved to GC2.
8C. Was that what is it? No, it's 8.
8B.
C.
Well, it's crossed
8C.
out, is it C?
2.4C.
Mine says C.
Okay, C, you're right,
C?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, these crossed
That was a
out, there was
joke.
like,
That was a
C.
pun.
Okay.
C,
C,
S-E-E,
yeah,
C?
C.
Ah.
Or C, as in yes, C.
C.
That we're gonna
Okay.
move that to GC2. First, we gotta move it into this GC quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't find
Okay, page
2.14.
Page 13,
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
it. Okay.
C, right in the middle
Where
of
it
the
says,
page.
The
The
normal.
great big one.
any board member may request,
Okay.
and we want to change that, once that determination has been made, the board secretary
I think, yeah.
will notify the board member of the plan for addressing the topic or matter requested.
I think that would be a real nice communication loop.
Yes, it would,
It worked.
Yeah, it would be really good.
yeah.
Everyone was happy.
This
Really?
is moved.
They were happy, they knew where it was going. They argued about
GC2.
it,
This
but
is going under GC2.
first it
Yes.
goes up under GC2.
Yes.
Or first it goes in the GC quadrant,
Right,
and then it goes to GC2.
And then the change to the
And
secretary.
the change to make it a secretary. The secretary will notify the board.
Instead of the officers, it'll be the
That's right.
secretary, right?
Mhm.
Notify.
and I think we should say the board secretary,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the board secretary.
yeah, not,
yeah.
good idea. Okay.
Okay, now we move to D. The normal content of the agenda. I think this is definitely a handbook thing
Yeah.
because it's normal, but it's not required. It's
Right,
suggestion. It's like an Italian speed sign.
Because in here, future topics is not even in here, right?
right.
So,
Right. So, yeah, this stays handbook, I think.
F would stay in the handbook.
Yeah, F for sure, handbook, that's the law.
Yeah,
you don't think that would be a good sentence to end C, since you're talking about,
oh, since we're talking about how things get put on
the agenda?
Yeah, we could add it there.
Yeah,
It gets more emphasis when it's its own item.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
but this is
but
policy,
this is, and this is handbook, so
Yeah.
people may, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. And we can put it right underneath it as its own item, so it's
Right.
not added to give the
So we're gonna
emphasis.
move
Where
that.
are we putting it underneath?
We're gonna put it right underneath the,
C.
Where it says
C,
adjournment.
where,
It's
the
going
one,
into
right, it's gonna
GC,
go,
right?
Oh.
yeah, it's gonna go,
Into GC.
so F right here, items may be added, right? We thought was gonna go right with this big paragraph C that is being moved to GC. Okay, so
Okay.
see this right here? F,
Yes.
okay,
This is going to
To
be
be
moved
moved.
to C.
to here,
Oh,
yeah, to C, so like right here.
okay, goes in that sentence.
and then instead of adding this to that paragraph, keep it its own
Like
letter
little- yeah.
or bullet or whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it deserves.
Cause then it gives more,
Doesn't get
yes,
lost.
doesn't get lost. I agree with that,
Own paragraph under the.
yeah.
Then we get to the, what's the next, F. Oops, no, we did.
Does that make sense? Okay.
So now we're 249, which is motions by presiding officers, that's Roberts, by the way.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So it stays in the
It stays
handbook
here.
because it's Roberts. Okay, 2411D. page. 11D. All materials distributed to the board during public session are open to the public unless exempt from disclosure by law. Well, sure, yeah, that's true. That seems handbook to
Handbook,
me.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, and this is a question I had, so, I mean, I think this is good information to have.
Yep.
I remember I asked Robin that question. Okay.
Okay. So now we're at 3-4, Roman numeral 6. Roman numeral 6. Members shall not request travel reimbursement unless it is, but that's definitely handbook to me. Okay, let's keep that in the handbook. So that gets us through the handbook.
Yeah.
Now, we can get through the deletes and we can wrap up today.
Okay.
Excuse me, delete, the first delete is 2.23A. 2.23A, which is, the board shall engage in board development, continuous improvement, capacity to govern effectively. Yeah, I certainly delete that. I think that's covered by state law, actually. But I'm not sure of that. But I agree that's a delete.
Rachel?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, he's just checking.
Delete.
I'm good with that.
Trish?
I feel like that's covered somewhere else.
I was saying, we talked about our, our annual self-evaluation having, being continuous improvement. That second sentence, I kind of thought might be handbooky. It's just good for a board member to know. That there is the expectation to continue PD.
State law.
State law, yeah,
And the state laws are gonna be in there, right? Okay, never mind then.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're good with keeping it delete?
Yeah.
H. Each school year, the board should complete a self-evaluation assessment and participate in a special call meeting for the purpose of reviewing, discussing the results. Responsibility of the chair. Okay, you all can explain the logic of that's being a delete instead of a handbook thing.
Yes, no, maybe we can.
Yeah.
On second reading. See, this is the reason
Yeah.
you need a little time to.
Yeah, no, I think doing a self-evaluation is important.
I think it's one
And
of
we
our,
I think
in
it's
the
one of our, I
GCs.
think it is in
It
one of
is.
the GCs.
yeah.
Maybe that's why it was being deleted, because it's in a GC, I don't know.
Okay,
But adding it to the handbook, so it's in both places, isn't a bad thing, is it?
yeah, I agree. I agree with handbook.
Tina, what do you think?
Should it be should it be on or before March 15th?
Yeah, I think we can take the date out, or
I mean, a lot happens after March 15, like budget.
budget and stuff, yeah.
Um,
When's the slowest time?
Summer,
Summer,
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be best to do it probably
do
in
it
the
in the
summer.
summer. Maybe,
So before the end of the fiscal year?
Yeah, that might be good.
So fiscal year ends June
Sure,
30th.
Yeah.
yeah,
So it'd be
So
a
it
good
could
thing
be-
to do after the graduations maybe.
Yeah.
yeah. each
So
school
is that
year.
gonna be policy then, or is that a handbook?
Well, we already have a policy that covers self-evaluation.
We do.
We do. You know, can you direct me to that?
That's what I'm looking for right now. Do you remember where it is?
I'm looking too.
Nope. I don't remember where, pretty sure it's in.
Maybe it's in GC two.
Yeah, that's my first.
That would be
look.
nice.
Yeah, exactly. No. Yeah, it's GC two, number 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Regularly and systematically monitor all policies.
But that doesn't talk about,
Yeah, that's
Well,
not the
it's
same.
talks about
different things.
It's responsible for its own performance.
Yeah, it commits itself to continuous
It
improvement.
makes itself a continuous improvement, which is what this is. So, yeah.
Wouldn't self-evaluation be considered?
this one
I guess
says
it's
it's gonna
already-
regularly monitor, policies.
Yeah.
So, well, I
There's
thought there was
something
something
much more
else.
specific.
How about in results?
GC 3, 6 says ensure acceptable board performance through effective evaluation of board actions and processes, but I mean, that's not,
That's a high level of what this
That's-
is doing.
yeah.
What page is that, Tricia?
GC.
Page 11.
11.
11?
Yeah, it's number 6.
Okay, thank you.
It kind of goes with the GC2 thing, first sentence.
David, I thought there was something much more specific there.
Just as an overall thing. Anytime it says Robert's Rules of Order, it should say for small boards. So
Yeah.
we should, anytime you do a scan and
So put it in there, say for some.
replace, yeah. Yeah, I thought there was something more specific.
Yeah, I
to
did
that.
too, and there's certainly that book, I think that one, and I'm on the second book, and that definitely really stresses that. The board
So maybe we
needs
should-
to self-evaluate.
Yeah.
You want to just add then to that GC3 number 6?
I definitely think we need it.
That's part of our job description, we'll do that.
So we're moving H to GC3, number 6.
That's a,
Yeah.
that's a proposal. That's just my proposal.
I think so. If we ensure acceptable board performance through effective evaluation of board actions and processes, and then each year,
The board shall complete a self-evaluation, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
So we're taking March 15th out.
right.
Each year,
You could say each school year,
it says each
That's what it
school
says.
year,
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
each school year.
and then just take out honor before March 15th.
Yeah.
If you say school year, then you're prior to the
Yeah.
June
We're not-
graduation.
Right.
Oh,
Fiscal year.
Each fiscal year.
I mean, because you're right, school year means
Yeah.
August to June, I mean, beginning of June,
Beginning of June,
so.
yeah.
Each fiscal
Yeah, I
year.
guess
Hey
you're
guys,
right.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
I gotta hang up, I got a kid issue right now.
Okay.
okay.
I'll text you if I can hop back on.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Rachel.
Didn't hear any kid, your kids are quiet.
Her kids
That's
are
the scary-
always.
That's the scariest kind of condition.
What's happening?
All right,
So each fiscal year, the board shall complete a self,
evaluation and assessment.
And a special
Participate
call
in a
meeting.
special call meeting
Yeah.
to review, because it does need
or
focus.
on or before the end of the fiscal
It'll
year.
be the
board shall-
responsibility of the chair to, yeah, I think that goes on the board job description, that's GC3.
Yeah.
I think it goes under number 6.
And is it gonna be a special call meeting, just for that?
That's what I would,
I
I
think
would
that's
opt for
good.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would
okay.
opt for that, so that nothing else can get on the agenda.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
Okay.
2.2.
Eight,
2.2,
Two.
Roman numeral 3, H,
Yeah, okay,
gets added to GC3, number 6.
yeah.
The entire paragraph,
The entire
Yes, ma'am.
paragraph.
minus the honor before
Yeah.
March 15th.
And
Yeah, because
this-
we're just recommending the board
Yeah.
decide, it doesn't
Right,
need
right.
all that verbiage, but.
and they're probably gonna wanna take out some of them,
Yeah.
that the chair can determine whether to use an
Yeah.
outside
Oh, yeah.
facilitator.
Now it says 2.23I, but I don't think there is such a thing.
No.
You know, my I is blank. R, this is, we're at 2.2, Roman numeral 3, I.
Oh, should have been just a 3.
Yeah, I got no I, Captain. Anybody?
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so look at J.
Yeah,
I think J would be incumbent in the
J, we got
instrument
J,
that.
J's the next one. So I will eliminate, so go to J.
There's some good thinking in J, but I think that the personal self-evaluation could be included in the instrument we use for the board self-evaluation and doesn't necessarily need to be an additional.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you like it, actually just.
That
state
last
it.
sentence needs.
Right, the last
yeah,
sentence.
needs a unicorn emoji.
But whatever tool we
This-
use, I would think would have some self-reflection on
I
personal,
think this is nice talk, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten the specifics already in the.
In the one before,
Yeah.
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 So keep that as a
So this is
delete?
just
Yeah,
a-
I would
this
keep
as
that
a-
I
as a
think it's a
delete.
delete.
Okay.
Okay.
L, communicate frequently and regularly with parents and stakeholders, Beaufort County. Blah, 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 blah,
I think that was
I
already
think
covered
it
in
is
the
somewhere,
GC.
yeah.
That's in
Okay,
a board
pretty sure, yeah.
responsibility or role.
Complaints and other information to individual board members will be referred to the superintendent. I'm pretty sure we put that somewhere.
Yes,
We did.
We did.
So we took care of that.
Okay.
2.4, Roman numeral 5A, 4, Roman numeral 5A, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Board member expectations.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's already covered in a GC about the respect.
Covered under GC 2, under GC 2, and I think it's dash number 3.
I know we talked about it.
I think I have A, B, C covered
Yeah, I
under
know.
GC 2.
Yeah, and I know we already did the executive
Yeah,
session.
exactly.
I know we did. All right, so that is a delete now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's good, there's our deletes. Now, 2, 4, Roman numeral 5, B is board members should not interrupt. They should be nice, don't call each other names.
And that's in the isn't that in the
Yeah, that's all,
GC two?
yeah. it
Speak
is.
only when recognized, not interrupt each other,
Yeah,
So this is
be
deleted.
nice, don't be sarcastic.
practice respectful body language, all that stuff.
Yeah, especially the part above the daisy.
Yeah.
And of course, for some people, we should also say, and don't huff. You know, that's not really covered here about huffing.
We have a lot of huffing.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately a huffer.
I'm not saying anything.
But my wing person
Yeah.
makes sure my,
I do, I try very hard to.
tries hard to make sure that my speaker's turned off.
Okay,
Yeah,
good work.
I try.
Tries.
Yeah,
But
now, of course,
Council-
I called him my wingman.
Yeah.
You know, okay, but I admire his use of the wing person.
Yeah. Okay. 248A,
I do like to.
248.
Okay.
Board meeting agenda, I think that's definitely delete, because we've already,
Which one
No,
are we
we
on?
The
talked
board
this
meeting
one to death.
agenda will include the items the board will address in performing its duties.
yeah.
What page, Kevin?
Page 13.
Yeah.
It will include references to board policy where appropriate. I mean, those references are nice, but
Yeah, we already did it.
we, yeah.
Okay, so we've done that. That is a delete. So 2411A. Nominated as a delete.
How to record minutes?
Says it'll be recorded in accordance with state law.
That's already,
11A, I'm pretty sure we already said we're gonna be lawful. I agree it's a delete.
it's in, it's in the GC, one,
Which
Record of
one?
all board actions
We're
will be
on
maintained.
2.411A.
The
It's
one
on
about-
page 15.
Okay, I got caught up reading
Yeah.
something.
11A.
About the recording. I
Okay.
Yeah, in
do
accordance
not,
with state law. Well,
I have in now, I don't know if it's on page 62, I have a record of all board action will be maintained online motions and the results of motions will be kept in a searchable database. All board meetings are to be video and audio recorded where practical. All video and audio recorded should be backed up before archiving. Is that cover, is
That sounds
that?
that's
like
part
a-
of it, and the other part it says state law, and
Oh,
it cites the law, so we could stick it in the handbook.
handbook
Okay.
with the law.
It's law.
Add this law to the
Add it to the
handbook.
handbook. So that's 2.411A goes to the handbook. So it's not a delete. Okay. 3.4. Roman numeral 7. Number 7, members shall comport with all rules and regulations applicable to board members and with the South Carolina Ethics Reform Act, et cetera. Para 8. Nice.
Do you want to delete that, and we'll put that in the handbook?
I mean, I think,
Or is it going to go in the handbook, because it is a,
yeah,
It's a law.
I mean, to be consistent, I think we
Yeah,
should
it
say
should go
the
in the
handbook.
handbook.
Yep.
All right, so 3.4, Roman numeral 7 goes in the handbook. Now, let's look at number 9. Ha,
Members will not
what a
attempt.
timely one this is.
Isn't that really covered already by, you know,
I'm
the
pretty sure it is.
superintendent's doing
So
that?
I kind of agree.
Is in charge of operational issues, so.
I think we said it right 2 or 3 different times, two or three different ways.
Yeah, about going right to the superintendent.
Yeah.
So that
Single
stays
point of
deleted.
contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep that as a delete.
10.
And number 10,
Should be highlighted.
let's remind everybody, you cannot legislate morality, you can't make policies as change behaviors.
Um,
People use the policies like drunks use a light post. Often for support, but never for elimination.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good statement.
I thought they used him to pee.
So, yeah, I agree that's a delete.
Okay.
delete.
Yeah. Number 11. Members will respect. I don't need to go much further.
Confidential personnel matters when appropriate.
Yeah, I think that's a delete because we've all said
It's
we're
law.
gonna be lawful and we're gonna say what's.
You know what, we should put this law in the handbook though.
Yeah, that one,
Put it in the handbook then.
3410.
Confidential personnel matters.
That's it, yeah.
Uh-huh.
11
Okay.
goes to the handbook.
So,
So,
let's see.
we now
So
have,
12.
we have our last one. 3.6, Roman numeral 1. B, hold your cards. B2.
And that was the one we were doing.
Oh, that's what,
Yeah,
yeah.
we already deleted
that's a
that.
delete. All right. I think we're at a good ending point.
So can I, before you end, can I just make one suggestion? I noticed it says, we were working today, page 58 in the draft, new one.
Uh-huh.
The very first thing should say the board consists of 11 members, because Horry County has a separate chairperson. I think it elected differently than the board members are, or something like that. I just
They
think,
have one at large.
yeah, I think, and a chairperson just be removed.
Oh, okay.
You're in the bylaws?
Yeah, we didn't know, but we
Oh,
were
you
gonna
got
have
it there.
bylaws, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know
Yep.
what to do with
Yeah.
that. We know that we're not gonna call them bylaws.
Okay, well, I can just tell you that needs to be removed.
Yeah.
Just cross out. and
Highlight it,
chairperson.
because I don't, yeah. I'm
Okay.
So, Dave and Tina, in your small group, and Earl,
Earl and I were
Earl,
together.
and you guys are together, and David, you were with, it doesn't matter, I guess, okay,
I
so
thought Earl was with me.
you guys were,
Earl was
have
with
Earl.
me.
I have Earl.
You had Earl?
you guys were charged with what?
We were charged with looking through this policy, Lorraine County,
Right,
and saying whether the policy was acceptable or not acceptable.
okay. So is that an exercise we should do with our,
We already did. We had 2 groups do that.
right,
I'm not saying we should do it again,
Well-
but 2 groups did it.
I'm just wondering that, I'll speak for myself, I've learned so much, going through this coherent governance, doing all this, that I'm just wondering that through that lens, if it wouldn't be beneficial to just kind of go back to everything that's in black.
Well, I think we should have a final review before we send it to the board for sure.
Oh, yeah, and would that be part of it?
That would be part of it.
Okay,
And it's
because there's just,
make some final changes.
there are a few things I've noticed already. A few
Our,
things
our homework could be for
There you
us
go.
each to go through everything that's in black
in black.
and make comments or, what do you think about that?
I could go through everything no matter what color.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask to go
Yeah.
through because the stuff that's in red or purple, whatever color it ends up when it's printed out. There's some things that I think that they're supposed to go up under, and I need you to verify that, maybe that's not placed there, maybe it needs to be placed somewhere else.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I put, as I keep doing revisions and I'm colors, need you to make sure that they're where they're supposed to be.
Agreed. So we'll do that as our final review. And that'll be one whole session. We'll do it
Right,
we'll do it
okay.
individually, and then that'll be our last session before we make recommendation to the board.
So basically, that, we're at that point, because I can make these changes.
But we have,
And then-
yeah, we're still gonna have to deal with the
The
OEs
PEs.
Oh,
and our
I forgot,
PEs.
okay.
And then we need a final, so we need at least 2 more meetings. How about the diagram, is that okay now? As I said when I sent it out, I still somehow have a feeling the operational expectations feed the results, but maybe not.
So say more about that. Why do you think that?
The results are the final. The operational expectations are all during the year, and they have no relevance unless they yield results. Right, they have to contribute to the results, or else they're meaningless. That's my own thought process on that.
Well, I think, I agree with that from the standpoint that the operational expectations are our oversight of the superintendent of the district. That's our oversight piece. So if we, in our oversight, if they are not compliant, you know, then, or if they are compliant, it does feed into the results, because they are, you know, in our evaluation, our final evaluation, I think it will move toward, in addition to the metrics, you know, we have to take into account how the compliance was with the operational expectations, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like for the next year when
Yeah,
there's, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was my only thinking. If the
Yeah.
operational expectations
A dotted
do
line.
not feed results, then there shouldn't be operational expectations, because results are all that matter. So we can mull that one over. but
And after
that's-
You know
Yeah.
what, they may have something like this in book 2, I wanna say.
Okay.
Because I agree, I think definitely, because your operational expectations are, you know, where we set our sort of broad parameters for the superintendent, and he's got to, 1, make a reasonable interpretation of them, and 2, he has to have the indicators there of, you know, what he's gonna use to evaluate that operational expectation. And during the year, with our work plan, we're going to be monitoring him and his progress. And so, right, like we may have, he met compliance with this, or he met compliance excluding one item under this, or whatever. And then, and at the end, when we do his evaluation, literally, I think you know, you'll have all these monitored reports throughout the year that you will, I guess you'd say, combine or whatever, to give him his evaluation. That's one of the key things I say in the second book, is you don't want to be giving him evaluations every time you meet. That's not appropriate. You wanna, you know, say whether he's meeting these or not meeting these, or where he's, needs to, you know, improve or whatever. Yeah, I definitely agree. But, and I think there might be a,
I'll better read the second book. I guess.
Yeah.
That was my only thought. If you have operational expectations that do not feed into a result, we shouldn't have that as an operational expectation. But I haven't
Okay.
thought
No, I
about it so
agree.
much, because I know that there's financial responsibility. Does financial responsibility feed into results? I don't know.
yeah.
Well, in ours, we wrote, he has a financial
I know,
result.
but that's the only
Yeah.
exceptions. I started thinking, well, are there other operational expectations other than the results? And the results, because the results are all student focused. And then I thought, well, yeah, I mean, we're also supposed to be doing financial stewardship, so we're supposed to be effective and efficient. Efficiently using the money really doesn't feed the results. Effectively using the money feeds the results, but efficiently doesn't.
That's right,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
obviously I've thought about this.
Yes, you have.
Yes.
I rolled around on this one, so I'm gonna leave it like that,
Okay.
and y'all can think about it.
Question is, we review,
Yes, ma'am.
when, is it gonna be a full board exercise? The monitoring method and monitoring frequency? as we put this, if we have to determine, so does that come from the OEs, once we determine what the OEs are?
That's my thought. Okay, so, for future meeting date? Because the next time we're gonna focus on the OEs, right?
Opposite? Yeah,
Anyway, that's why I think
that
we,
maybe shouldn't be there.
I mean, that's why I think we need to go through. You
Yeah,
know, now that we
exactly.
have this, I mean, once everything
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
sense, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, to me, they seem like
Yeah, I
they're,
think
Yeah,
the
they're
next
countering
meeting
each
we'll
other.
do the OEs, and then the following meeting we'll do the review,
Okay,
and then we're probably gonna run out of time.
I know.
But the full board's gonna go through the whole same thing.
This, you guys met for the agenda for
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
and then you're meeting for the workshop, the working session,
We did
right?
a good part of the work session agenda yesterday.
Is this on it?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it's almost all, a
Yeah,
good part, it's
whatever
basically
we have
Saturday.
done,
Okay.
we're gonna take it into that.
Yeah,
Whatever we have
exactly,
done.
let's work
Okay.
on it.
So,
While you guys are looking for your date, I just wanna say, I'm super impressed with what you guys have done, and thank you very much. I think you're doing an awesome job.
We've had
Rachel
really-
too, even though Rachel's not
Oh, yeah,
there,
yeah.
but, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
lot, and a
It's-
lot of conversation
Yeah, it's good.
and thinking through of what it really means to
Mhm.
follow this governance model.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, the whole thing, yeah, I wasted about half an hour of our time trying to get this lined up in my head.
No, but it led to good discussion.
and still leading to.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Alright.
so we're looking at a date for next
Yep.
week?
So
Yeah,
the
I'm-
17th at 4:30, we have agenda setting that's going to be here.
I'm available on the 17th prior to that.
I am?
Rachel is not, she was
Because it's
saying,
a holiday.
because it's a
Oh,
holiday, she has
Oh,
the kids.
okay.
So now unless she wants to participate by phone.
I have the judging of the
Alright.
Food.
it's supposed to be from 10 to 2.
Hmm.
So that's an ace.
Yeah, that's not, that's not gonna work,
Yeah,
because agenda's at 4:30, so. we don't-
yeah.
All right, so move on to,
The 19th, we have academics at H.E. McCracken at 4:30. There,
yeah, I can't do the 19th, but
Okay.
you all could do it without me.
Could we not do the morning of the 18th, maybe?
I'm good on the morning of the 18th.
we can.
I can't do the 18th.
Okay.
And then the 20th, 21st, and blah, 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 is all annual convention.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then the workshop.
Well, we're just gonna have to pick a day when we're not all gonna be there.
Right.
And move forward.
Well, we have the week, let's see, the work session's the 28th.
Right.
So,
To get 2 meetings in, we would have to,
Probably meet twice in 1 week.
Yeah.
we could meet we could meet the week of the 24th, but we'd have to do it twice.
Right.
We have at least 2 meetings.
Plus,
And
that's
I'm-
gonna be really hard for
I'm not
Robin
gonna
to
be
be
here,
able
but,
to.
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
And
because I'm not here that week.
Hmm.
she's not here that week, and then how does it all get, you know, into the mix?
Okay, well, maybe we meet twice next week, like the 17th. Rachel will have, you're not available on the 17th?
Well, I mean, I can
Oh,
be.
you've got the food thing that day.
Mhm.
Okay, well, go ahead and meet the 18th. I can't, but you guys can meet, maybe the 18th, you're not available the 19th?
What time were you available?
I can
After?
also meet on Saturdays.
Yeah, I can,
What time are you on the 17th?
They said it's from 10 to 2.
In fact, on the 15th, I have a Ladies on Middle School follow-up in the cafeteria at 9 o'clock.
Do you?
Yeah,
With the
Right.
teachers?
that's, now this is with, this is Greg speaking to the parents,
Okay.
trying to keep them I'm engaged.
Yeah.
So anytime after that, I've made myself available on Saturday. I can't do Sundays.
And what about Friday, this Friday?
Friday the
This Friday, we
14th.
have Counselor of the Year here.
Right, so what about right
8 to
after
10.
that?
I'm available.
What time is
after
that?
8 to 10
8
is
to
the
10.
Counselor of the Year breakfast.
Mhm.
All you can eat.
Yeah,
It doesn't, I know that's not a big attraction for you, but it is for me. Bacon.
8 to 10.
So
I
they would
could-
meet like at 10 to 12 or something?
Okay, let me see if I can, change something around on Friday. Let me see if I can do this really quickly.
Was it a special lunch with your sweetheart?
Are you kidding?
It's cheaper if you brought him to this breakfast.
Yeah.
All you can eat bacon.
Yeah, right.
Well, we said
Well, and
Friday
I
at-
could be here at 11, I think. I have,
Okay.
in 8, I have actually a couple of commitments, but I think I can get out of the one that starts at 10.
So it could be at 11.
I could be here at 11, so.
And I bet Rachel can't come because there's no school.
Oh, that's
So I
right.
bet
There's
you,
no
so it'll
Friday.
have to be, you know, so that the three of
Because it's
us.
Valentine's Day? What-
No.
PT
PT
is
day.
a professional development
Yeah,
day,
it's a
so
PT
the
day.
kids get Friday and Monday.
I'll tell you, the teachers are jumping up and down saying, no school on
Valentine's
Valentine's Day,
Day.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, but.
Valentine's school on Valentine's Day is not fun. Is it, Tricia?
It's awful.
It's awful.
It's, oh my God, it's awful.
Middle school?
Oh. And you know, it's.
Middle
yes.
school.
Oh, yeah, it is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
We could do, David, could you do an 11 to 1?
I can do 11.
11 to 1 on Friday.
Okay.
Yep, I can do that.
I'm putting it on the calendar right here.
And you're gonna do your OAs?
Are we?
The OEs, yeah.
OEs, I'm right, OAs. OEs.
And then we'll schedule one final meeting for
Yeah.
wordsmithing
Yeah.
and review.
Friday, 11 o'clock to 1, 2:14. Can you participate? Can you meet Friday at
Because I am going to be gone from the 21st
11?
until the 26th. So.
That's.
So when we schedule the second one. So, okay.
That's still on, right?
No, yes.
Yeah, you've
Yeah,
got to adjourn.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we're scheduling for Friday from 11 to 1,
Yes,
February 14th.
yes. Right.
And we are going to be going over the OEs.
Same agenda, we'll go over
Okay.
the OEs,
Okay.
get that done. Because if we miss anything, it would be the review and wordsmithing.
Yeah.
I think it's more important to get the OEs taken care of. All right, so that, we're good for our next meeting,
Okay.
Yeah,
and do we have a move to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
No discussion?